Now, I need you to do me a huge favor. You got to understand this. There are two ways to be successful, right? And I don't subscribe to the first one. That's just natural talent. Right? And I just don't believe people who are naturally talented are better than me. I believe effort, and you've heard me say it. Your mama might come from privilege. Your daddy might come from privilege. Your daddy might own a company. You might come from privilege. You might have a father that can give you everything your little heart desires, but you will not outwork me. Why? Because I realize that the bigger the dream, and I need you to see who I have up there. Notice when I said beast mode now, I'm not talking about the lion. When I talk about beast mode now, I'm talking about the ant that's very small, but that can probably lift 100 times his weight. I'm saying that some of you in this room, you might not be a lion yet. Some of you in this room, you might be an ant. You might have small beginnings. You might not have a lot of money. You might not have a lot of resources, but there's no excuse. You said, E.T., I'm not that lion. You might be the ant, and the ant has very little, but he's determined. He's strong. He has a dream and a goal, and he'll do whatever it takes. And I need you to understand that the bigger your dream is, the earlier you're going to have to get up. The longer you're going to have to stay up. The bigger your dream is, the more effort you're going to have to put in. And for those of you who raise your hand and put up 70%, you'll never see it. You're going to wake up and boom, you're going to have to run from something. That's something you're going to have to get away from to survive. And that's all the gazelle is doing. He's running from the lion because he's trying to survive. But what's weird is that even though the lion is considered to be one of the most ferocious animals, one of the most dangerous animals, one of the kings of the kingdom, that when the sun comes up in Africa, that the lion has to do something too. Even though he's great, the gazelle's not going to come and just let him eat him up. He's going to have to chase that gazelle down. He's going to have to kill that gazelle. So when I read it, that's the similarity. That if it doesn't make a difference if you're a gazelle, it doesn't make a difference if you're a lion. If you're at the top of the game, you still got to work. If you're at the top of your game, you still have to grow. If you're at the top of your game, what I know about you, if you're at the top of your game, there's still room for improvement. You can still get bigger. You can still get better. You can still be bolder. If you are still alive, there's still room for growth. There's still room to grow and be better. Because the blessings don't come from what you get. The blessings come from the seed you plant that's going to bring you back more. So that's why God ain't blessed you yet, because you're going to take the blessing and go get a whip with it. You so sick, and you so worried about what people think about you. You still on what people think. Some of us driving cars, not because God told you to drive it, but your self-esteem is so low that you got to make people think you somewhere that you're not. That's a sickness. You have a low self-esteem. You care more about what man think than what God think. You tripping on what I think about you when God pissed at you, and that don't bother you. You have more concern about what another human thinks about you. You're closer than what you think. With just a quick shift, you are closer than what you think. Come on, Holy Ghost. About 100 yards. I could run 100 yards right now and still not be tired after the 100. That's how close they were. You close, and the devil done told you, just get a divorce. You close, hold on. You close, you about to drop out. You've gone too far now. You ain't got but 2 credits. Hold on. You 3 kids in. You can't quit now. Hold on. But this is my 6th time taking it. You're going to pass on the 7th. Hold on. But you better get something from all that hell you've been through. You are 100 yards. Come on. You are. I'm talking to somebody. You ought to get excited. You are 100 yards away. You are 100 yards away. Back to your dreams. I want you to get back to your goals, because no matter what has happened in life, you've got another 30 years, another 40 years, another 50 years. Like, you can't get stuck on. Like, you can't let that thing that devastated you in 1989, the thing that devastated you in 1996, 2001, like, you can't wake up every day to 2001. 2001 was a tragedy. Yes, it was, but you can't stay there. Look, I want you to look at your goals, and I want you to ask yourself this question. Do you know what it takes to make that happen? Like, do you, like literally, like, because this is all it's going to take. 3 things, this is all it's going to take. Do you know what it takes? And you guys have an advantage because you've been at this conference, I think 3 days, you got a whole bunch of information. Look, the only thing it takes to go from where I went to, a homeless, high school dropout, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans, I went from being a high school dropout, getting a GED, to having a PhD. Listen to me, the only thing it takes is knowing what it takes. So one day I woke up and was like, okay, E, stop talking about what you don't have. You need to know what you don't know so you can get to where you're trying to get to. That wants to make $1 million in your company. You're not the only one that wants to be the president. You're not the only one that wants to be the CEO. What if you're not the only one that wants what you want? What if there are thousands of other people who want what you want? You have to outwork them. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time? What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. I changed. And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying, I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said, I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. You got to outgrind them. You got to get up earlier. You got to stay up later. You've got to execute, and you've got to go from 70 to 120. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture.